as love is a river that flows eternally within the hearts of all beings. It is not bound by possessions, appearances, or fleeting emotions. True love transcends the surface, touching the depth of our very essence. In the teachings of Zen and Buddhism, love is a practice, an art, and an embodiment of wisdom. It is not merely about attachment or longing, but about liberation and the nurturing of another spirit. The Buddha taught that love rooted in selflessness is the highest form of love. This is not a love that seeks to possess, dominate in us, or control, but a love that offers two profound gifts, compassion and freedom. These two gifts are the essence of true love, and they echo through the Zen parables and Buddhist sutras, calling us to look deeper into the nature of existence and the connections we share with others. Let us embark on a journey into a timeless story, a tale not of grand palaces or dramatic conquest, but of the simple, transformative power of love. This story holds within it the wisdom of the two gifts, and its lessons will resonate with anyone who seeks to love and be loved in the truest sense. The silent stranger and the path of compassion. In the heart of a dense forest, there was a serene monastery where the monks lived in quiet reflection. One day, a young seeker found his way to this sanctuary. He was burdened by the weight of unrequited love and the confusion of worldly attachments. Hoping to find solace, he approached the monastery gates. Before he could knock, an elderly monk appeared, as if sensing his arrival. Without a word, the monk led him to a quiet clearing where a stream flowed gently. "What troubles you?" asked the monk after a long silence. "I seek to understand love," the seeker replied, his voice heavy with sorrow. "How do I know if someone truly loves me?" The monk smiled and said, "A person who truly loves you will give you two things, compassion and freedom. But to understand this, you must first know the nature of compassion." Over the following days, the monk shared teachings with the seeker, using the stream as a metaphor. "See how the stream flows," he said. "It nourishes the roots of trees, quenches the thirst of animals, and carries away fallen leaves without holding on to them. This is compassion, offering yourself to others without expectation, without clinging." The seeker listened, his heart slowly absorbing the wisdom. He began to see how love, when infused with compassion, seeks to alleviate suffering and bring joy. It is not about receiving but giving, not about grasping but allowing. One day, the monk gave the seeker a simple task. Walk through the forest and observe the life around you. Return only when you have learned what it means to love without attachment. The seeker wandered for days, witnessing the harmony of nature. He saw how a bird fed its young, how a tree offered shade to the weary, and how the wind carried seeds to fertile soil in us. He began to understand that compassion is a universal thread that connects all beings. When he returned, the monk said, "You have seen the first gift. True love does not bind, it liberates. It asks not, 'What can I gain?' but 'How can I serve?' This is the first proof of love, the freedom to be." The monk continued his teachings, this time focusing on the second gift, freedom. "Many mistake love for possession," he said. "But true love allows the other to be as they are, without imposing expectations or demands." The seeker was puzzled. "But if we love someone, don't we want to keep them close?" The monk laughed softly. "Closeness is not a measure of love. Clinging to someone is like trying to hold water in your fist. The tighter you grasp, the more it slips away. To truly love is to open your hand and let the water rest there, free to flow when it must. To illustrate this, the monk shared a story of two travelers. One traveler found a beautiful bird in the wilderness. Enchanted by its song, he captured it and kept it in a cage as believing this was the best way to enjoy its beauty. The other traveler admired the bird from afar, allowing it to sing freely in the trees. Over time, the first traveler found the bird's song fading, its spirit diminishing. The second traveler, however, continued to enjoy the bird's melodies as its joy and freedom were untouched. Love, the monk said, is like the second traveler. It cherishes without confining, celebrates without controlling. Freedom is the highest expression of love because it respects the other's path, even if that path leads them away from us. The seeker reflected deeply on these words. He realized that his own feelings of love had often been tangled with fear, fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of being alone. He saw how these fears had made him cling, suffocate, and demand, thinking this was love. But true love, as the monk taught us, was free from fear. It was not about keeping someone, but about allowing them to thrive. One day, the monk gave the seeker a final task. Return to the person you believe you love. Offer them these two gifts, compassion and freedom. See what happens, not with expectation, but with an open heart. In us, the seeker hesitated, knowing this would be difficult. Yet, he trusted the monk's wisdom and set out on his journey. When he met the person he loved, he did not speak of his feelings or his pain. Instead, he listened. He saw their struggles, their dreams, and their fears, and he offered his support without asking for anything in return. He let go of his desire to possess them and instead focused on their happiness. Over time, the seeker found peace regardless of how the other person responded. He realized that his love had transformed not into an attachment, but into a source of joy and strength. He no longer needed them to complete him, for he had found completeness within himself. When he returned to the monastery, the monk greeted him with a knowing smile. "You have understood," he said. "True love is not about what we take, but what we give. Compassion eases the other's burdens, and freedom honors their journey." These are the two gifts that define love, the depth of love's two gifts. The tale of the seeker and the monk is not just a story, but a profound mirror for our lives. It compels us to examine how we approach love and how love manifests in our relationships. As we reflect on the teachings, we can uncover layers of insight into the nature of compassion and freedom, as well as their transformative power. 1. Compassion, the root of connection. Compassion is the foundation of true love. In offering compassion, we transcend our self-centered desires and connect with the heart of another being. But how do we cultivate such compassion? Compassion begins with understanding. To truly love someone, we must see them as they are, beyond our projections and expectations. The monk's teachings remind us that compassion is not about pity or obligation. It is a genuine desire to alleviate another's suffering and to celebrate their joy as if it were our own. Reflect on your relationships. How often do we listen deeply without trying to fix or judge? How often do we offer our presence as a gift without the distractions of our ego in us? True compassion requires mindfulness. It asks us to be fully present, to see the other person's struggles and triumphs without the filter of our own needs. In the story, the seeker learned this lesson by observing the stream and the forest. Nature teaches us that compassion is not a dramatic act, but a quiet, consistent flow. Like the stream that nourishes without discrimination, love imbued with compassion touches all who come near, asking for nothing in return. 2. Freedom, the breath of love. Freedom is perhaps the most challenging aspect of love, because it goes against the grain of human attachment. In us, we often mistake love for possession, thinking that to love someone means to keep them close, to make them ours. But the teachings reveal that true love liberates rather than binds. Freedom in love does not mean indifference or lack of care. It means honoring the other person's autonomy and path, even when it diverges from our own. This is not easy. To love someone deeply and still let them go, if they must leave, requires immense strength and trust in the impermanence of life. The parable of the bird illustrates this perfectly. In trying to cage what we love, we stifle its essence. But when we allow it to soar freely, in us we witness its true beauty. Freedom is not the absence of love, but its highest expression. It is the recognition that love is not about control, but about growth. Ask yourself, do I give the people I love the space to be themselves? Do I support their dreams, even when they challenge my own in us? Freedom in love means accepting that the other person's happiness may not always align with our expectations. 3. The interplay of compassion and freedom. Compassion and freedom are not separate gifts, they are intertwined. Without compassion in us, freedom can feel cold and distant. Without freedom, compassion can become suffocating and controlling. Together, they create a balance that allows love to thrive. Imagine a parent raising a child. Compassion guides the parent to care for the child's needs, to nurture and protect. Freedom allows the child to explore, to make mistakes, and to grow into their own person. In this balance, love becomes a source of strength and empowerment. Similarly, in romantic relationships, these two gifts form the bedrock of lasting connection. Compassion ensures that love is tender and empathetic. Freedom ensures that love is respectful and expansive. Both are necessary for a love that endures the tests of time, for love as a practice. The story also teaches us that love is not a static feeling, but a dynamic practice. Just as the seeker had to walk through the forest and face his own fears, we too must continually work on ourselves to love fully. This practice begins within. Before we can offer compassion and freedom to others, we must first offer them to ourselves. Do we treat ourselves with kindness, or are we harsh and judgmental? Do we allow ourselves the freedom to grow, or do we cling to old identities and fears? In Zen and Buddhism, the concept of metta emphasizes this self-love. To love others deeply, we must cultivate a deep well of compassion and freedom within ourselves. Only then can we extend these gifts authentically to those around us. 5. The impermanence of love. One of the most profound lessons in the teachings is the acknowledgement of impermanence. Love, like all things, is subject to change. Relationships evolve, people grow, and sometimes paths diverge. This impermanence does not diminish love, but enhances its beauty. When we accept the impermanence of life, we begin to cherish each moment for what it is, without clinging to it. The monk's words about letting go are not a call to detach emotionally, but a reminder to love fully in the present. By embracing impermanence, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and allow love to flow naturally. 6. The mirror of true love. True love acts as a mirror, reflecting not only the other person's soul but also our own. In offering compassion and freedom, we reveal our deepest selves. Love becomes a path of self, discovery and spiritual growth. The seeker's journey illustrates this beautifully. In learning to love without attachment, he transformed his own heart. He found peace and completeness within himself. Ilas, realizing that true love is not about seeking validation or fulfillment from another, but about sharing the abundance of our own being, the infinite circle of love. The teachings remind us that love is not a finite resource, but an infinite circle. The more we give, the more we receive. Compassion and freedom are not gifts we offer only to those we hold dear. They are gifts we extend to all beings. As you walk your path, remember the stream. the bird and the forest, remember that true love does not seek to bind or control, but to uplift and liberate. In giving the two gifts of compassion and freedom, we not only transform our relationships but also ourselves. The practice of love is endless, and its rewards are boundless. May you carry these teachings in your heart and let them guide you to a life of deeper connection, greater peace, and boundless joy. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Just click the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Also, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.